How's it going, everyone? ND Sean 45 coming at you. I'm going to be answering two questions in this video. The first question comes from a longtime viewer of mine, Carnivorous Lunar Activity. You see him on my videos all the time. And his question is this: Sean, which college has the hottest cheerleaders? Dude, I gotta be careful answering this question, man, because a lot of these girls are just out of high school. But I'll answer it. Now, being a Notre Dame fan, we have some good-looking chicks on our cheerleading squad. But you guys are going to think I'm nuts talking about rival teams here, but you go down south and look at a school like Alabama, they have some fine-looking women on their squad. And then even out west at Southern Cal, some very, very beautiful girls on their squad as well. But dude, I don't know if I can really pinpoint it to a particular school, because, pretty much anywhere down south and in the Southwest, good looking girls galore on those squads because, hey, it's warm year round. They're out tanning all the time. So just in general, I'll have to say down south and the Southwest. I mean, it makes the most sense, right? I mean, hey, the Beach Boys, I wish they all could be California girls. My singing sucks, I know. But yeah, Southwest and down south. That's the best that I can do for you, man. You made it hard on me. But anyway, next question. This one comes from a user who calls himself Dominic Walker Baseball. And his question is this: Sean, what are your thoughts on fans who support multiple teams? I'm a Notre Dame fan first, but I grew up in Maryland, so naturally the Terps have a soft spot in my heart, secondary, of course. And then on top of that, I'm going to be going to college at most likely South Carolina. So what are your thoughts on that? How do you perceive that? Is that acceptable to you to like all these teams? Well, Dominic, a lot of people have certain opinions when it comes to two-teamers. There's plenty that downright oppose that in every way possible. But myself personally, I think there are exceptions to the rule. Now, of course, you being a Notre Dame fan, hey, if you haven't lost your love for the Irish, that's awesome, man. I'm glad they're number one to you. But at the same time, with you being from Maryland, it's natural, of course, that you're going to find some interest in your hometown school and have some love for the Terps. And then, of course, if you're going to be going to school at South Carolina, why wouldn't you support the team that is of your future alma mater? I mean, that makes perfect sense. I mean, now, look, here's the best example I can give. Now, when I was in high school, obviously, and I've said this many times, I played football, but I was not a good football player. But hypothetically, let's say I was. Now, obviously, I've been a Notre Dame fan my whole life, but let's just say I had all these offers coming, and one of them happened to be to, say, Purdue. And let's say I took the college visit there, went to Purdue, fell in love with the place. Now, would I still forget about Notre Dame? Absolutely not. I'd still be a fan. But, of course, I would have a soft spot in my heart for the Boilermakers in this scenario, that is. Because why wouldn't you? In that scenario, I'd be playing football for them. So why would I not have some love for them? Why would I not, be all about the Boilermakers at that point? So, of course, if it's going to be your alma mater, and especially if you're going to be an athlete there, I don't know if you are or not, but why would you not have some love for the school that you're going to? That makes perfect sense. Another example, and this is actually true. A friend of mine, he's Notre Dame through and through, but he has a lot of family out in North Carolina. I think some of them actually went to the University of North Carolina or NC State. I could be wrong on that. So he has a soft spot in his heart for North Carolina and some of the schools out there. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as long as you're a true fan to the main school that you cheer for, it's fine if you have a soft spot in your heart and support some other schools because you have family ties to them, or it's your hometown or your home state team or whatever. That's fine. Just as long as you don't forget your primary team that you cheer for, that's A-okay in my book. I mean, that's fine. And like I said earlier, if you're the school that you're going to, why wouldn't you support it? It doesn't make sense not to. The only time that I think it's crappy is in a situation like this. Like, say you're a fan for Notre Dame. Now, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Say you cheer for Notre Dame in football, but in basketball you don't. Basketball, you go off and cheer for a Kentucky, a Duke, or a North Carolina. And your reason for cheering for those schools in basketball is because Notre Dame's basketball team might not be good. Now, that is just downright shitty right there. That's how I see it. If you cheer for one team in football, but you don't cheer for them in basketball because they're not good or because they don't meet your standards or whatever, then that is just pure shit right there. That's the only time that I think supporting multiple teams is crap. But other than that, for the reasons that I listed already, like if, it's your hometown state, or if you have family ties and it's, those schools have a special place in your heart, that's fine. But to not cheer for a team at your primary school just because they're not good or something like that part is shitty. So yeah, dude, I hope that clears things up for you. Like I said, there are exceptions to the rule, but if you don't cheer for one of the athletic teams at your primary school just because they're not good, that part is shit. And yes, I've said this multiple times, but I'm just trying to hammer that point through. So I hope that gives you a clear answer of where I stand on it. And that's a real good question. Thank you for asking. Because I don't think many people hear other opinions than, oh, you're a two-teaming bandwagon fan, which I've heard that plenty, and that is just, it's not always the case. Usually when people support multiple teams, there's a good reason for it. Not always. The two-team bandwagon thing does exist. Getting on a bandwagon just because a team gets hot and starts winning a lot, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, no, a true fan, even if your team goes through a losing season or has a rough stretch, you always support them through and through, good or bad. So there you go, man. Hope that gives a pretty good declarative answer for you. So on that note, guys, this is NDSean45 signing off. I still have a few more questions to answer yet. I'll try to get to them in the next couple of days before the weekend. Cutting it kind of close here because I'm looking to do the preview for the Cotton Bowl pretty soon. So, with that said, God bless and go Irish.